Well, first of all, thank you, Michelle. You're going to make me blush on national television, but thank you very much. We tried to be as transparent as we possibly could, Libby. As the previous caller indicated, we started months ago notifying people as to what to expect, to let them know that, this was a major international event, and we are a mid-sized. We started months ago notifying people as to what to expect, to let them know that, this was a major international event, and we are a mid-sized American market hosting the biggest thing we've ever done. We've hosted 4 Super Bowls, but this is about 10 times the size of that in terms of the number of moving parts and the logistics. So we started months ago letting people know where the road closures would be, what to expect from a law enforcement presence, to encourage them to plan their daily commute around these traffic hindrances, to start coming early. We were very aggressive on Facebook and Twitter and with our local media. I did 3 town hall meetings where we invited people to come and to hear the presentation, to know how solid waste pickup was going to be affected, to know what the transportation network was going to be, Heartline, our bus system, how that was going to be impacted. So we've really tried to be very aggressive about the outreach, about our bus system, how that was going to be impacted. So we've really tried to be very aggressive about the outreach, about involving the community in what we're doing. We have a 24-hour call center that's up and running, that is staffed full-time, where people can call in and ask any kind of questions they want, from where the best restaurant is to where the latest protest is. We've got thousands of people signed up for what we call Alert Tampa, where they will get real-time text messages or email messages indicating if there is a situation, if there is a temporary street closure because of a protest, if there is a delay in traffic. So we want everyone involved. We want everyone to know what's going on. And this community has really, really responded. They are taking great pride in this event, irrespective of whether they're Democrat, Republican, or Independent.
Scott.
trained pilots can fly nearly 150 miles per hour, just a few feet off the ground, at night and in bad weather. The Chinook's range is 858 miles, and it features 4 gun stations. It is powered by 2 Textron turboshaft engines, and is able to transport up to 54,000 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will look behind you, you will next see an attack on an enemy checkpoint using special operations all-terrain vehicles and ground mobility vehicles, more commonly known as Humvees. This assault force consists of personnel from Brazil, Colombia, Jordan, Thailand.
In Wyoming. Good morning, Casey.
Good morning.
Go right ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm very happy for your town. I'm very happy for your city. Excuse me. I live in Wyoming, a very, very wide open place. We don't have the population you do there, and you know, I'm happy for your city that you're very well getting money that is deserved to your American citizens there during this economic times. But I want to say to you that I've looked online and I've seen some pictures and I've seen some detainments of people that were doing their American free right to film, to be around. If they looked like they were some sort of a person that wasn't in a silk suit or a tie, they were detained. I've seen video of it. I fear for our country, and I wonder, I'm asking you, if a vote is rigged in the American presidential system to where Americans' votes don't count, does that affect your city when they come and tell you you cannot defend yourself against anybody in the government?
Well, let me start at the beginning of the question, KC, and I wish I was out there in Wyoming right about now, and certainly after dealing with the storm, I'm sure the environment out there was much nicer. The number of arrests so far have been less than 5, and those were people that clearly crossed the line. Those were people that we had allowed to push the limit. They crossed over the line. We have been very, very judicious in terms of how we exercise the law. We've been very, very respectful of people. The only folks that have been arrested are people who clearly deserve to be arrested. So I don't know what video you're watching of people being detained, but it's not happening on the streets of Tampa. Sunday and Monday were relatively smooth. The protest took place. Our police chief was out there handing out water to protesters. Even some of the protesters commented publicly that it was hard to dislike, and I'm referring to the anarchists, not necessarily legitimate protesters, that it was hard to dislike the Tampa Police Department because they've been so accommodating. And so I hope that will continue. And I can tell you our level of aggression is only in response to them raising it. If they choose to exercise their First Amendment rights, if they choose to protest, irrespective of whatever cause it is that they believe in, it doesn't matter to us. We will be helpful. I'd rather our law officers be tour guides, but if someone chooses to take a different path, we will react accordingly, but we will do so with great restraint. The issue of if someone chooses to take a different path, we will react accordingly, but we will do so with great restraint.
The captain swears that they won't use it, that it can be dismantled and used for a communication device, and that's what they're using it for, is a communication device, according to the captain, but it is LRAD.
LRAD?
LRAD is a sound device that causes nausea and headaches. Again, that device over there is LRAD. They're claiming that it's been disabled and it's only being used for communication. Oh my God. That armored vehicle there. That's a sound device called LRAD.
Another Tampa resident, Joe, is a Democrat, joining us from Florida. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how you doing? It's Bob Buckhart and Joe Robb, man. I just want to say Bob's doing a great job. And I have one question for Bob, is that I'm concerned about African Americans getting contracts from the RNC and from the city of Tampa. And the city of Tampa has an ordinance. And I just want to make sure that Bob makes sure he does an accountability of how much money was spent through the city's money for this, and how much did the Republicans spend with African American businesses, because that's one of the main things that I'm pushing for here in Tampa. And Bob's done a great job in Tampa over the years for African American businesses and helping our community. And I just want to make sure that they have an accounting of how much money was spent with African-American contractors throughout this whole affair, both the city and the RNC. And thank you, Bob. Keep up the great work, bro.
Joe, thank you, and I appreciate the compliments. And we have tried hard to make sure that the economic impact of this event floats all boats, and that the rising tide of that short-term infusion of about $150 million to upwards of $175 million is spread throughout the community. What we have tried to do in working with the Republican National Committee is to use our women and minority business list to provide to them. We created the process. It was the same process that we normally use for procurements. We want to make sure that small and disadvantaged and African-American, Hispanic, women-owned businesses all have an opportunity to share in this. There will be a lot of money spread around the community. We will be able to track that, certainly from our side. We can't necessarily track what the host committee does or where the delegates spend their money, but we will know where we spend our money, and whether it's in catering contracts or whether it's in fencing companies or security-related things, we will have a good accounting of that. I think just certainly anecdotally, I can tell you that there are a lot of people out there who are really having a good week so far and could be the best week of their entire year. I mean, restaurants are full, catering companies are busy as can be, cab companies, transportation companies, limousine companies, restaurants, which means they're hiring bellhops and waiters and dishwashers. That economic ripple is going to spread throughout the community, and I hope when it's all said and done that we will see that everyone benefits.
Tampa.